Here I am with Debbie. We are actually, we're going to finish the podcast, obviously. We're going to do our Friday roundup, but then we're off to the airport. We're heading to Florida, and we're going to a very fancy wedding.
Which we will talk about
talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll come to that.
Yes.
Let's start by talking about the midterms. Wow, here the weekend, then election coming up really just a few days from now, Tuesday. And I must say I'm feeling pretty good about it. As I do the book promotion with 2000 Meals, people are like, do you feel the election will be secure? And I say, I think the awareness that was brought about by the movie and the book is going to help a lot.
I think, and even going further than that, I think that if it wasn't going our way, I don't think Biden would have done that speech, that very divisive speech that he did that reminded me of the Hugo Chavez Maduro speeches. Because what do they do when they feel like the opposition is entrapping, is gaining ground? They have to demonize them. They have to shut them down. They have to teach them a lesson, and they have to act like they're conspiracy theorists, and they should never be trusted as citizens.
So tellingly. And what happens with Biden is he says something dark, divisive, outrageous, which is that essentially the opposition party is against democracy. He's for democracy, they're against democracy, so you have to vote for him no matter what. And then other people pick that up and echo it. So here's Michael Beschloss, the presidential historian, and he was on, CNN or MSNBC, and he says things like, don't just vote in economics. Your kids' future is in danger. America's future as a democracy is in danger. Right. So they're trying to raise the stakes.
They have to go there. I mean, like I said, third world country tyrants go there, and so the rhetoric doesn't surprise me one bit.
Here's an interesting article in The Hill, which is getting to a key constituency, which is to say suburban white women.
Okay.
And the idea is that whatever happened in 2020, there was a population of suburban white women in places like Georgia
that didn't like his tweets,
that didn't like Trump. Right? They were like anything but Trump. We don't really like Biden, but we're going to give the Democrats a try. There were people who talked like this and acted like this. And I think what's happening now is that those suburban white women are having major buyer's remorse, and they're doing it on the economy. They're seeing that, look, inflation, high prices. So suddenly their livelihoods are getting pinched. So half of suburban white women now think the Republican Party has a better way to fix the economy and make life easier. Only 35% think Democrats. And let's remember, many of these women are Democrats. So they're not just polling Republican women.
I mean, what planet is the 35% on?
Well, that's a good point. Well, the Democrats apparently think that, I think you have the entitlement Democrats.
Right, of course.
And these are people who don't care what the economy is doing because they're looking to see, am I still going to get a monthly check?
Exactly.
Right?
So for them, the economy is just fine.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 16% who cited the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade as being an important, not necessarily a decisive issue, but an important issue. Now, Democrats had hoped that number would be around 50%, that about half of women would be like, we're going to vote on abortion, we're going to secure our abortion rights, control our bodies. But it's turning out that no, more than twice as many people say that it's the economy that's driving. So Democrats have had, by the way, in many elections recently, an advantage among women, but not in the midterms.
Really? That's really interesting. And going back to the Roe v. Wade, I think that they would have had a little bit more of a point if the decision had been no abortion at all, nowhere, right? But that isn't what Roe v. Wade, the overturning of Roe v. Wade was about. It was leaving it to the states to make those decisions. So they never took away abortion rights at all. They just said, it's not in the Constitution, guys.
The decision is really about who decides.
Yeah.
And the Democratic position is that a woman decides, quote, with her doctor. The with her doctor part is all nonsense because no one actually goes to your doctor and says, what do you think I should do?
Yeah.
No, women go into the clinic, they go, abort my kid.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, come into this room and we'll do it. So this idea that there's a kind of humane consultation about the various procedures involved, the various interests involved, the this doesn't happen in practice, nor do Democrats want it to happen.
No, they really don't. They really shouldn't even call themselves pro-choice, really. They're pro-abortion, period. End of story. So,
yeah, very scary.
Yeah.
But look, this is a case where I think the red wave is carried by many different currents. There's an economic current. There is a portion of people who, I think even the disaster with Afghanistan remains in the back of people's minds. This guy does not know what he's doing on the international front. And no one would be entirely surprised if he gets us into a big war because he's such a fool. And the people around him are such nincompoops. There's these little twerps who you can see have had no life experience, no foreign policy experience. And so it's a very scary situation on the foreign policy front. And then on the cultural front, this is a guy who's tearing the fabric of American society. So it's bad news all around.
So are you feeling good about the midterms?
I'm feeling good, and I feel like we're going to be teaching these people a lesson that